Hello everyone from San Francisco. I am in San Francisco still, going over all my notes and absorbing and processing everything. And I just wanted to share some insights from one talk that I went to the other day by Dr. Larry Rosen. And the talk was called The Great Human Experiment. Whoa. And he is a research scientist and he's done lots and lots of studies on students from middle school to up to university, and how they study and what their environment's like. So how much they use social media or media in their daily existence, and how they like to study. Do they prefer to do task by task, one task focused and then move on to the next one, or do they prefer to switch task? And a majority do prefer to switch task, and then over their overall performance. And the results of that were things like we, as well, young people focus for about 2 to 3 minutes, and that's it. Then we get distracted, and we switch to something else on the computer, or we look at different screens. They also found that we switched to a different screen every 19 seconds on average. So that is a phenomenal amount of switching going on, and brain activity. They also compared all the results with other results by other research scientists that had been done with computer programmers, medical practitioners, information workers, and lots of different industries, and they all came to the same conclusion. Conclusions. So they also found that with the students, when they studied them for 15 minutes, so they observed these students studying, sorry to be clearer, and each one of them that visited Facebook just once in that 15 minutes had lower results than the ones that didn't visit Facebook. So sorry, Facebook. You're so awesome for so many other things, but as people now and humans in the digital age, we have a problem with focusing, a very big problem. And so he talked about why we can't focus. So obviously, external environment, we're getting distracted by text messages, phone calls, notifications, tweets, blah, 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 blah. Like so many distractions now, and they're all on our phone. And the internal, what's going on inside, is that our mind is wandering a whole lot more. So we're continuously thinking. And a majority of the thoughts are about technology, because that's what's in our everyday use. Technology. It's like, so everywhere is digital. Like right now. So then he moved on to talk about the brain and what happens in the brain, and mostly about the prefrontal cortex, which is, see, I'm just being distracted by a notification on Facebook on my phone. Damn, I'm the worst. So it actually came as no surprise. I kind of just laughed through the whole talk because I was like, oh my god, that's me. Oh my god, that's me. Oh my god, that's me. Bad. Anyway, we came back to prefrontal cortex, which in cognitive therapy we call the wise mind. So that is the frontal lobe at the front here. And that prefrontal cortex is our executive controller. So it is our seed of memory, it's our seed of decision making, it's our seed of multitasking control, and our impulse control, and all those kind of good, wise things that, make us function and react and act in a way that best suits our values. So he explained that when you're born, you develop a fatty tissue called myelin, and myelin wraps itself around your neurons and insulates it, and helps your transmission from point A to point B work more effectively. And he went on to say that you don't actually develop all these myelin or myelination in your prefrontal cortex until your late 20s or your early 30s. So that basically says that when you're young and you're studying, you're actually not using your frontal prefrontal cortex in the best possible way. And he also said, just to put this in there for you oldies, when you get to 45 years of age, you start to lose myelin. So that explains why when you're sitting down watching TV and you decide to go to the refrigerator and get something to eat or drink, and you get there and you have no idea why you're there. It also explains things like when you've lost your keys and you keep looking for them in the same place over and over and over again, hoping that magically they'll appear. They don't. Excuse me. So, sorry, I'm having to look at my notes because I'm getting distracted by my face in the screen. They did other studies that show that 75% of teens and young people sleep with their phones next to them, either with the ringer on or on vibrate, and that half of adults also do this as well. They found that students got really anxious when they weren't able to be around or check their phone, and that anxiety increased for heavy daily users more and more and more as time went by. So they studied them for 30 minutes, and after 10 minutes they saw where they were at, and 30 minutes they saw where they were at, and 50 minutes they saw where they were at, and they just increase in anxiety for heavy phone users. What else? So they also said that when you're switching tasks, and they did a study from work to entertainment. So if you work and you're mostly on a computer when you're working, and you switch from a work thing to a Facebook or a social site or an interactive site, which they named entertainment. So work to entertainment. The arousal went up. But not only did the arousal go up before visiting that site, it went up 25 seconds before you actually switched to that site. So basically, you're working, but 25 seconds before you've actually stopped working and gone to a social site, you're actually not focused on what you're doing. So focus is a massive thing going on in our brains at the moment. It's a constant battle to keep focused for a lot of us. And I thought that was really interesting. And the other thing was that they showed a slide which was, what do we know about how technology impacts the brain? So what they have found through their studies is that people with more social network friends, so if you've got more friends on Facebook, more Instagram friends, more followers on Twitter, etc., the size of your hippocampus, so the hippocampus is the seed of your memory, increases. And also the amygdala. So amygdala is the seed of your emotion, so that's our emotion mind, what we call in cognitive therapy, also increases. So you're more emotional and you have a better memory, which is not true for me. Although I'm definitely emotional, but I don't have a very good memory. So the other one was gamers. So gamers, striatum activity, so your risk and reward area of the brain, like how you kind of can judge that balance, goes up. Violent game players, so aggression areas of the brain increase, obviously. And also the amygdala, so emotion goes down. So all you gamers, violent games, like all the shooting games where you go into a battle zone and kill each other and do all those types of things, you're losing your ability to connect with your emotions. Just saying. Wasn't very surprising, but there you go, narcissism and was not so nice. People that can't connect with their emotions. Web addicts was the last one. So web addicts, overall activity, so people that heavily use the web, go searching on the web, which is probably a majority of us these days, I guess, between the ages of sort of 15 to 50, I'd say. But their efficiency of their neural activity is decreased. So that what we were talking about before, the fatty tissue called myelin, is a decrease in that fatty tissue. So he then went on to talk about what can we do? What can we do about this? It's not good that we can't focus. So it was quite unsurprising that the things that help us focus are things that will lower our anxiety and calm us down. So because your brain's going blah 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 blah, you need to slow it down. And the way to do that is meditation, mindfulness, practicing being present, all of those lovely things that we've talked about of wisdom so much. But then also things that bring out or release like oxytocin. So that make you feel good, the feel-good factors of life. So if you are looking at art or listening to music that you really like, that also calms you down. If you are taking a hot bath, that's like a massive one. So, a lot of people say the best ideas come when you're in the shower. Something about hot water is very calming for us. And then they did these experiments, which you might have actually heard of before. They're like, so they went into schools and they gave these teachers these practices to do with the students, which were a 1-minute tech break. So you've probably heard of tech breaks, especially if you work in the computer world and you're always around your computer. You would have heard of tech breaks before. So it basically means to increase your ability to focus. You set yourself a timer of 15 minutes. So the students would come into class, they'd sit down, and the teacher would say, you've got 1 minute to look at your phone, and they'd time it. And then when that 1 minute is up, the teacher would say, okay, now turn off your phone and place it down, upside down in front of you. And in 15 minutes, you will be able to look at your phone again. So giving them that time limit calms them, releases anxiety, decreases anxiety, because they know that they can look at their phone in 15 minutes. And then they time 15 minutes, so they get someone in the class to time 15 minutes, and for that 15 minutes, they are they're expected to focus. And then you increase the level of time, so 15 minutes, and then you get a 1 minute, so you do that for a week or so, and then you do 20 minutes and you get a 1 minute break, 30 minutes and a 2-minute break or whatever. And the results showed that it was very, 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 very helpful in allowing students to focus better. What else? They said it was about, obviously, metacognition, so being aware of how your brain works. We need to sort of let our students know and let our kids know how does your brain function and where are your distractions. So awareness. Thank you, Einstein. Again, 90% of awareness. 90%. 90%. Oh shit. Awareness is 90% of the solution. That's what I'm trying to say. Stay distracted by me again in the screen. Great, so I'm going to leave it there because now I've been talking for 15 minutes and I was going to do it only for 10. So you guys have a wonderful day, and I'm going to be doing these little videos to give you some updates over the next few weeks. So keep in touch. Alright, have a good day. Bye.